Hi everybody, how you doing? This is Andrew at Hearst Castle, and we wanted to give you folks at home an opportunity to hear those bells today. So we thought that would be a good place to start the live feed. Now we are one of California's great state parks. We are a state historic monument, and we are currently closed for business. We are not offering tours at the moment. But if you have any questions about the ongoing situation, please check out our website at parks.ca.gov. There you could get all the latest updates, all the information you want to know about many of our great state parks all over California. But for today's presentation, we wanted to show you some of the oldest objects here at Hearst Castle. And if you've ever had the opportunity to explore the grounds, the gardens, you've probably seen the goddess Sekhmet, the fierce warrior protector of her father, the sun god Ra. Now, these four objects, they date from the 18th and 19th dynasties of the Egyptian pharaohs. They're over 3,000 years old. And William Randolph Hearst was collecting these items in the 1920s when Egypt was very popular. 1922, King Tut's tomb is discovered in the Valley of the Kings by the famous archaeologist Howard Carter. And it kind of sets off this worldwide craze known as Egyptomania, Tutmania. So suddenly everyone becomes very fascinated by the pyramids, the pharaohs, the mummies. And even Hollywood's going to get in on the game. In 1922, that's when you see the Egyptian theater on Hollywood Boulevard. Cecil B. DeMille will create his silent masterpiece, The Ten Commandments. He filmed that just a few miles south of here at the Guadalupe Dunes in Santa Barbara County. But William Randolph Hearst, he himself toured Egypt in the 1800s. He went on a grand tour of the Mediterranean. He visited places like Egypt, Greece, Italy, Spain. And so he had Egyptomania before it was cool. He might have caught the bug from his mother, Phoebe Hearst. She was also a great patron of archaeology. She herself had gone on trips to Egypt. And there's even a photo at the visitor center of Phoebe Apperson Hearst riding a camel under the Sphinx. So yeah, she was kind of like Indiana Jones herself in the late 1800s. But this is an interesting presentation of the goddess Sekhmet because the architect Julia Morgan will place the four statues from the time of the pharaohs. And Julia Morgan will use these goddesses in a 1930s style Art Deco fountain. Now, this was also a very popular movement at the time. Art Deco is drawing a lot of influences from Egypt, and you see the lotus blossom designs here in that fountain, even in the risers, the tiles below. The lotus motif, that's a symbol from ancient Egypt representing life, rebirth. Now, Sekhmet herself, she's the goddess of war, and she was kind of a fierce lady. She was known for drinking human blood. Whenever Ra wanted to kind of keep Sekhmet under control, he would trick her by feeding her a beer that was mixed with pomegranate juice. It had the appearance of blood, and so Sekhmet would drink that beer until she would fall asleep. So the Egyptians would often have parties celebrating the goddess. They would drink lots of beer in honor of that famous story. Now, she does have the body of a woman, but the head of a lioness. And hundreds of these statues would be found in the ancient city of Thebes. That's where a lot of the archaeological digs were happening in this time period. Even today, they are discovering dozens of these Sekhmet statues carved out of diorite, a very tough form of granite. Now, in the top statue there, do you guys see that pink vein running through Sekhmet's legs? That's actually a vein of Valspar, and we weren't sure what that was. We brought a geologist to check that out for us, and he was able to determine, yes, this is a natural occurring feature in the statue. And you can see how the Egyptian artists, they kind of just incorporated that into the side of the carving there. They were using copper and bronze tools to carve out these statues. And it's kind of a lasting legacy from the time of the pharaohs. Even today in the 21st century, we could appreciate these goddesses that are over 3,000 years old. Here's the oldest one right here. That's the oldest statue. We think maybe 3,600 years old. Right above her lion's head, you see the sun disk of Ra. And that would have been a featured above all of Sekhmet's lioness heads. That sun disk would have let you know, yeah, she's the one representing Ra, her father. Now, we'd like to give you folks at home an opportunity to maybe interact with us here, and if you have any questions about what we talked about, yeah, maybe we have some interesting comments coming off of the feed, or not. But it's interesting when people come to Hearst Castle, they want to know what's the oldest thing. That's Sekhmet right here. This is really probably one of the most prominent features you get to see when you're outside exploring the gardens. But there are also many references to Egypt inside the house as well. And Mr. Hearst, he's going to be collecting paintings that also deal with the subject matter of Egypt. And maybe we'll explore that in later videos. We'll show you some of our more iconic art objects. And we could tell you a little more about what was going on in the early to mid 20th century when Egyptomania was kind of sweeping around the world.
You do have a question.
Okay, great.
Jim wants to know how Hearst got these.
Oh man, we do get that question a lot. Now, Mr. Hearst, he did visit Egypt, but he wasn't buying these when he was in the country. He actually got these from art dealers, auction houses, primarily in New York, London, and I could show you the three carvings on this side. They did come from sales in New York in the 1920s. The fourth one there came from London in 1930. And so people, they often wonder about, okay, where is he getting all this stuff? They have this idea of William Randolph Hearst traveling the world, looting and pillaging objects and bringing them back here to the house. That's not the case. In most cases, he will be going to reputable art dealers in prominent art houses all over the U.S. at this time. That's how he is getting a lot of these great objects.
Bonnie wants to know, how are these conserved since they are outside?
Well, it's interesting because she's carved out of diorite, okay? And she had been hanging out in the Egyptian desert for over 3 millennia, stood up pretty well against the elements. For the last 100 years, she's been hanging out here in this fountain, and this is actually the sunny side of the property. Maybe Sekhmet feels right at home as she's facing the Pacific Ocean. But we did have a major restoration project on the fountain in the late 1990s. 1997, they go in, and they're going to kind of fix the features, the plumbing and pipes here in the old 1930s Art Deco style fountain. So it's interesting, some of the things here that are 100 years old aren't holding up as well as the things that are thousands of years old. And so a lot of the restoration that goes on here involves tiles, concrete, stuff from the time of Hearst and Morgan. The stuff from the time of the pharaohs, well, I think it's been proven that it's going to last maybe a little bit longer than that. Well, we'd like to thank you all for joining us, and keep watching. We're going to post many more videos. We have another one coming tomorrow, and that's going to be an exciting an opportunity to see some of the views from Hearst Castle. And just keep checking in with us. We have the Facebook page. We have the website at parks.ca.gov. There you will get updates on the situation, what's happening here at California State Parks. But we want to be able to share this with the people. You know, if you're from California, this belongs to you. This is your house. And we want to share this with you, and we want to share this with the people of the world. So we'll keep putting out these videos and keep sharing the house with the whole world. Thanks for joining us.